simply tells you right away you're going to have to go ta-dee, right? And that's what? Is that the chromatic? Chromatic half step? That's such a beautiful thing right away. Okay, so. Yeah, you have to make that break though, because there's a little rest there. That was better too, because what's better now about it is you're giving the full value to the what? To the quarter notes here. We're not using the pedal yet, but isn't that right? I'm not quite hearing. Wait. Lean less, rest. Lean less. Be exactly sure about that. Yeah, so this is getting clipped. It's getting too clipped because there's no dot on it, right? It's not staccato. It's really quarter, rest, and quarter less, and so nurse those after beats for the practicing. Better. And answer. Right, so what is the harmonic rhythm that helps you phrase this between measure 3 and 4? What is happening with harmony in measure 3 and what's happening in measure 4 with the overall harmony and 4? Is it dominant in measure 3?
Yeah.
The dominant, right. So would you lean more on the dominant measure and would you pull it back slightly on the tonic?
Yeah.
So you got to do that right away. So you're going to have to think, watch. Ta-di-ya, ta-di, resolve. Ta-di, yeah, right away. Think that way. Okay? Do measure 3 and 4. So what you have to do too is watch. This is so fussy because this stays over that, doesn't it? That's quarter note. So, ta-di, stay, ta-di. You have to be so fussy about that. Ta-di, resolve. Ta-di. Good. Now let's add the 4 measures. That's one phrase, right? That's one phrase. Okay, so these are getting kind of in the distance, and ultimately is going to be watch. We have to it has to be kind of there. They're still there. Resolve. Okay, but I use the pedal. But even without it, be sure of you got to hear the afterbeats, and they're not drowning out the upstairs, but they have to be there. The horn you have to be sure of is how that rhythm is. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1? Is that how we count it? So that rhythm is very poignant in the whole piece. And this whole the exact rhythm. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, rest. Okay, continue. Okay, now this you're going to have to do the same thing. Now, before you had this, watch. Right? Then we go to the next whole phrase and we get this. And the listener knows it's related. Now it's falling down lower. It's a sequence, though it's delayed by what? Other measures in between? But now the listener remembers that you did. You remember this, right? So it's also going to remember when you do this. Isn't it? Yeah, so you have to think, how did I do that chromatic sequence down? How am I going to do it here? You got to think back that you're going to shape it the same way. I think you need more of a bass. This is the fundamental bass, right? Yeah, you need, look how I do it with my wrist. Why do I do this? So I don't get that punchy, pokey pencil point sound, right? So this has to be held through. Listen to that harmony. That's all part of that harmony. Back to lean less. Yeah, I think we need a little more bass here. Now what what's happening here? Did he go into another, is he going into another key now in these next two measures, 7 and 8?
Mm-hmm.
So what's he doing now? It's important us to know the harmony here. What's happening here? It's another dominant, but it's not a dominant of C sharp minor anymore. It's a dominant of what? Let's listen. What is this? We think it'll be A major, except what makes it a surprise? The D sharp. Right? We think we're going to A major, we're fooled. But we think we're going dominant to what? Tonic. But guess what? It still is lean less, because look. That's a surprise. And that's back to C sharp minor. But for a moment, we think we're going to what? A major. So it has a parallel to what? 3 and 4 is kind of related to 7 and 8, except that 8 is a surprise D sharp. It takes away the full tonic. He does this, look. Okay, so that's a surprise. By the way, the rest isn't in the left hand, it's only in the right. That's what's tricky about this. Watch. Yeah. That's a good thing to practice. Watch. Doing this purposely. Why am I doing this? Don't do that when you're playing, but it forces you not to play over the rest in the right hand. Okay, here's what I would do in a practice setting to make sure I'm doing exactly what the music says. First I do a bunch of times. Again. And I do this separate. So I don't do, because the other hand's lifting, right? Okay. Resolve. Surprise. Okay, and this you have to be careful of, because you want this to be lean-less. By the time we get here, we have all that harmony, right? Dominant of what? C sharp minor. We're back to C sharp minor, okay? For a moment. Okay, so what's the left hand? Lean-less. What happens after that? So what's interesting here is that G sharp has to survive so that the alto voice doesn't what? Overshadow the decaying G sharp. So I would probably do more there, because I want this. Yeah, so we don't want the listener to think that's the melody, the E. It's just getting harmony, adding the what? Richness of harmony under the what? What's he doing here? He's going, watch. He's going to, right. Ultimately, right. Sequence, watch. That's hard to do, because it's easy for that like note underneath to become the melody, like you're thinking it's going down to the alto as a melody note. It's just a what? It's a blend voice. It's giving you harmony, vertical harmony. You need really more sound, because you're not going to be able to get. And then crescendo. This needs to be more, yes. Under. What happens here? Crescendo, arrive. It's very hard to do. Let's get less of a and more of a. Can you do this? I think you're going to have to hold down the what? You're going to have to hold this all the way through. So that's a down and a half note below. Keep holding. Yes. Yes. Go ahead. By the time you get here, you'll be hearing this is a what? A surviving resonance. Right? So here again, you have those half steps when you have this, and then you have what? Like he had at the beginning. Remember, he went this, and then he had this. Now he has a smaller interval. There's a tritone. This is a tritone. You know what a tritone is? Three whole steps. Has a tritone, whole step, whole, right?
Yeah.
So I think Chopin loves that. And this is a chromatic scale, right? Is it chromatic? Not chromatic here. So are you doing half steps? Yeah. Oh, are these appoggiaturas? Because they're in twos. So beautiful. It's like just improvising there, right? Okay. But here's the thing. At the very end, you're coming. It's true. It has to be big, but it's resolving. Is it resolving? It is. Continuous motion, yeah. But you're right. It has to be so you can get. Yeah, there's some sound, so you can do this again, right? Okay. That's for me what I would do. Very tricky there. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do. So we want to have a sense of spilling into a resolution back to the first idea again. In other words, that's a big long bridge to what? The theme coming back like it did at the beginning. Tonic, lean. I think you need more leaning. Because you finished with the resolution, right? Now lean. They're different. So when you have two of the same chords next to each other, one is finishing a resolution and the other one's starting a new phrase, but they're the same chords. So they have different what? Color? Okay, go back to here, this one here. Watch. I finish, lean. Okay. Make sure you're holding the C sharp weight. So here, watch. Keep the C sharp down. Is it still down? Still down. It's tricky because you have to keep the C sharp. Show me what you do here. Still down, right? Right? Okay, good. So when you do that bass note, it has to be a full, right? And when you practice how you do this, right? Wrist, less. The bass note is so important. It's the fundamental bass. Remember how we did this? Fundamental bass. Really nurse your bass. Nurse your bass along. Because sometimes we get a little staccato there for some reason. We get that. Not quite, but it gets sort of not the full value. Because when you add the pedal can't play that note for you the way it should be. Because even if you had the pedal and you did this, believe me, that's the way it's going to come out. It's going to have like a, not exactly a nice foundation for the bottom. Yeah, so everything we do without pedal, when we add pedal, it only makes it polished up a little, but you still have the same touch, right, that you nurse. I should have held the C sharp right, and it's tricky there because I let go of it sometimes, and I shouldn't.